Over the past 200 years, 2/3 of our native forest has been destroyed, intensely farmed and the soil stripped of nutrition, leading to erosion of the land and contaminated waterways. It's a pretty grim story, but here's the good news. Kiwis in their thousands who have made a home on the land, be it a small town section or a huge rural farm, are really honouring their role as guardians of the land, returning their dirt to its former glory of abundance and diversity. Unfortunately, I don't have time to tell everyone's story, but here in Raglan are two wonderful examples of people living close to the land. This is Rip. He and his partner Liz made their home here on this land over 20 years ago. Back then, there was only 5 trees and a whole 15-acre property, the rest of it in pasture. Today, well, see for yourself.
So I'm planting trees in my own backyard, and my back it's broken and the ground so hard. My land is my world to save, and look at the change I've made. Kept right out of trouble when they drilled the seas for black gold, and they dug a deep and dangerous hole. But it's just another tale untold, for the path's such a slippery slope.
To cut a 20-year story short, this is one happy piece of land, with an abundance of food, not only for themselves, but for the community as well, and the rich diversity of plants, insects and bird life. They really have honoured not only their land, but the community too.
We would prefer community sufficiency. So, I can't sing, and but I've got some good mates who are good musicians, and so to be able to grow food for them, and firewood for them, and really self-sufficiency is a pretty lonely place to be. And so we feel that to have sufficiency within the community, or perhaps these days called resilience, and is a far better goal. So we are growing some things here, but we're also purposefully not growing some things here because other people grow that better than us, and so we want the opportunity to trade and barter and exist with them.
Every plant and every tree on this land tells a story, but if there is one story that really sums up Rick and Liz's philosophy of this land, it'd be the one where they plant the trees for their newborn children to build a house from.
So as part of our design of the property and thinking forward into the future, we decided to grow timber and firewood. And the timber really is, we made some assessments of what volumes of timbers would be required to build a house. And we had 2 children, so we decided that we wanted to give them the opportunity to be mortgage free, and so we grew them a house each.
So imagine the security and grounding of knowing whenever you are ready, the materials in the land are waiting for you to build a home. And all that will cost you is your sweat and your time. Then imagine the children born into that home, where the parents are free to be all they can for their kids, with no pressure of a mortgage lurking in the darkness. And thus the story continues into their children, and thus a seed is planted and a change is made. Just a few hundred metres from Raglan town centre lies a townhouse with a town section, and though it might be a lot smaller than your average lifestyle block, it hasn't stopped Leanne and her family from living off the land.
We just wanted, a greater level of self-sufficiency. We wanted to be able to provide food for ourselves with fruit and vegetables and chickens and eggs, and but we wanted to do it in more of a permaculture way. I had read lots of books on permaculture, and one in particular I found that really sort of made sense to me. And so yeah, we've built some round garden beds, and we've started a food forest, and we've got young chickens growing up.
What's unique about this story is that Leanne and her family had only been on the land for 5 months, and already they'd established gardens, food forest, chuck run, and even got ducks and bees, and all this on a half-acre section in the middle of town.
I always wanted to live on a farm. I grew up on a farm, and I wanted to go back to farming. And this is sort of our way to do it, but still be able to, well, we bike everywhere. We bike to town, we walk to town. We're only half a block from Main Street, so we found the perfect spot that, where we can do all of this. So we feel really lucky that, we're in town and we can have our farm.
So by simply turning lawns into gardens and swapping ornamentals for edibles, the productivity of this land and the soil health and diversity have multiplied manyfold, attracting birds and insects, which in turn will benefit the surrounding area and making a change for the better.
So I'm planting trees in my own backyard, and my back it's broken and the ground so hard. My land is my world to save. Look at the change I've made.